a derby game to get us underway. It's John Driscoll and Adam Virgo with you in the commentary position for this one. And Adam, you went through many opening days, many pre-seasons, always a little bit of nerves, a lot of expectation.
Yeah, certainly massive expectation, especially for a promoted side like I have been from League One into the Championship. And so the tickets sold today for these Bolton Wanderers fans that have been through a lot. Certainly coming with an element of optimism at the start of the season. I always feel that there could be upsetting results.
So there's been a bit of change. We'll see when we get to the team news. Some in, some out. They asked for patience from the supporters. They are taking on some new investment as well. Bolton haven't beaten Preston since 2001, the playoff final at Wembley. Allardyce versus Moyes, the game that ushered in that wonderful spell for Wanderers in the top right, their Galactico era. Bolton's journey has been a little too interesting for comfort since those days. This is a 12th straight season at this level for Preston North End. Their budgets suggest survival would be success, but this is match day one, so why not dream? Let's have a look at the teams. 5 players who started the playoff final make Bolton's opening day lineup. Javier Simons is suspended after last weekend's red card in the Carabao Cup, and Ruben Rodriguez was injured in that match at Sheffield Wednesday. Ex-Preston man Ben Davis has been left on the bench. Max Conway will play at left-back. Akin Famero will switch inside. Ethan Errejón is a surprise inclusion after not figuring in pre-season. They signed 3 players in the last few days. Samuel Illing Jr., Ryan Hardy and Lewis Brunt are all among the subs. Preston are also missing a suspended player, Lewis Gibson, who was sent off in their win at Huddersfield. Liam Lindsay and Jordan Storey both return in defence. We'll see if it's a 3 or a 4. Delano Bergzor gets his first start on loan from Middlesbrough. He set up that crucial goal last weekend. Everyone else was here last season, including Alfie Devine, who was on loan, is now their record signing. French midfielder Leo Leroy arrived yesterday. He's on the bench with Swedish striker Youssef Erabi. So, a couple of managers who know each other well, and Stuart McCall, of course, a legend of the game as well. Schumacher has done the big part of his job. Let's have a look at a couple of key players.
Yeah, Ethan Errejón for me, it's going to be important in that midfield area. The reason bringing him into the game in terms of the way that he breaks play up, and it's so important to try and dictate the tempo of the game. Simons without. Be a big opportunity for him to really settle into the game in a Bolton Wanderers shirt. Well, Preston North End need firepower, and they got that from him last season, but there's a difference between being a loan player and then being a club record transfer for Alfie Devine. He will have to have the expectation and the pressure on him now to lead the line and find the goals. Excellent movement in the final third. I certainly hope to continue what he built on last season.
Adam Herjeg is the referee. There's no VAR in the Championship again. Sound of cheering around the country. There are plenty of new changes, as we've already seen in the Carabao Cup games that have been played, such as subs having to get off the pitch quickly. Well, it's 83 days since Bolton won the League One playoff final at Wembley. 7 years since they were a Championship club, but here they are looking to start with a Derby Day victory. It's not as warm as it has been in recent days, which is probably good for the players and for the levels of intensity. Neither of these clubs are flush with money. Preston are undergoing a takeover process at the moment. Bolton are getting new money in as well, but they've had to be busy with what they've got in the summer window so far, and plenty of changes along the way. A few eyebrows raised by the supporters, particularly of Bolton, with their starting lineup. And both managers have generally, I think, played it relatively safe, would be a way of putting it. Bolton are in the all-white, and their local rivals from 20 miles away, Preston North End in red. It's a full house, and the Championship is back, and Bolton Wanderers are back at this level. They go long immediately up towards Sam Dalby, one of their heroes of the playoff final, with a fabulous goal in that game against Stockport. What a pivotal moment it was. What a huge difference it makes for a team coming up a level now and back at least where they feel they belong.
Yeah, I mean, the fans are out here in numbers in terms of a sellout, which is great to see after the ups and downs and turbulence of what Bolton Wanderers have been through. So a wonderful playoff final against Stockport County and an emphatic win from his side. But he'll know the challenges of what he has to deal with ahead, that there will be an element of optimism to a certain extent, but an early goal for Preston North End could certainly change the mood very, very quickly in this stadium.
And one of the new things that you can see, the referee is allowed to give a countdown to the goalkeeper taking the goal kick. It's gone high and long and trying to break straight through the middle for Maywo in that defensive role with a crucial header. There's an offside flag there as Preston were just a little tardy getting out. Now, Paul Heckingbottom, he was interesting, he was saying in the press conference on Thursday that the playing staff that he's got restricted him really to playing a three at the back, and then we see the lineup today and we think maybe he was selling us all a dummy.
So he's been desperate to try and get that back three into the side, but personnel as well. But they want to try and dictate the game early, to try and settle this crowd very easily. As Mike's is going to certainly be an out ball for them in terms of him down the middle, chasing everything down in and around him. The support he's got around him with the legs that he's got. I think it's an area for that Preston North End side to really capitalise on.
So Thierry Gale, the first opportunity to run at Valentin, and he comes inside and floats it in. An excellent header by Lindsay, got up above Dalby.
It's an important header there from Lindsay because McAtee had made a run. If that ball had gone over Lindsay's head, then McAtee would have been in space there for an opportunity.
Here's Josh Sheehan, the captain for Bolton Wanderers. And they bring that goal-scoring form from League One up a level. Conway on the overlap, who slightly surprising inclusion, but he played the playoff final. He was a regular last season. Nicely done by Osmajic. Goes wide again to Thierry Gale, and once again he's got space and he's got defenders retreating. It's Gale into the penalty area, and he chops outside of the defender, and the corner was prevented. Ali McCann, the new club captain for Preston North End, doing the last bit of defending. The Bolton win it back again, and they feed it again to Thierry Gale, and again he goes on the outside. He delivers into the penalty area. Now, who got the touch on that? It's a goal kick. Presumably, well, it might have been Dalby who was down on the ground, or it might have been McAtee who was steaming in.
It's been their best out ball so far. Thierry Gale down their left-hand side. Oh, Valentin is a player that needs to get slightly closer to him to stop those one-on-one crosses coming into the box, but he's made a couple of late runs into the box, McAtee. Preston North End haven't been able to mark when those crosses have come into the box, but it's been a positive start from the home team.
Rodriguez loss was a real blow. Scored twice in the playoff final. One of the players with experience at this level in the Bolton lineup, so he'll be out for a little while. They have plenty of players recently signed. Ryan Hardy, who played with Schumacher at this level previously for Plymouth Argyle. Samuel Illing Jr., Lewis Brunt as well, so experienced players, good players arriving at Bolton in the last few days.
just certainly trying to find the balance for Bolton Wanderers with that continuity of a solid squad to get promotion, and then maybe adding that quality, as you mentioned, and that experience to handle Championship football.
And the referee, Mr. Herzog, brings it back. Just gave it a second there to see if Bolton had an advantage.
Yeah, I just think it's always the first 15 minutes, especially for Preston North End. It's not necessarily quality with the ball and phases of play. It's actually matching the energy levels of Bolton Wanderers and that physical side of the game that you need to win your individual battles. And just at the moment, we're starting really positively on the front foot. Players making runs forward off the ball.
The home supporters want the whistle to go again, and once again, Mr. Herzog just waits a second and then gives the free kick.
He's kind of playing with the foul. Just a little bit eager there to try and win the ball.
It's a good position, Josh Sheehan. Just having a chat with the referee. Daniel Everson was the hero of the Carabao Cup win. They played the vast majority of that game with 10 players, Preston, but they got a late equalising goal, and then Everson saved 2 penalties, the first 2 penalties of the shootout. So it will be Sheehan. It's a one-man wall, and he's floated it in. The goalkeeper's lost it, and he got it back again. A little lapse of concentration there by Everson.
And he's very lucky.
But he's delivered the ball superbly up front immediately to Osmai. He then fouled.
A little bit of an overhit cross there from Sheehan into the box. It's a really good angle to maybe hit the penalty area for one of his players to go and attack the ball. He was unlucky there with the way that it bounced back into his hands.
Seeing Max Conway limping quite gingerly. The game goes on. Offside against Sam Dolby. Interesting, isn't it, the change. Last season we had the 30 seconds for a player who was injured. Pressure on a player to stay on the pitch, even if I think in the past Conway would have got treatment there.
Yeah, well,
before he could come back on. Now it's a minute, and it does put a bit extra.
I think it's so the side of the game that things have been crept in that you get disappointed with and frustrated with, and to try and change those rules to stop that happening. It'll be interesting to see the players when they do go down and when they don't now, as you just mentioned there with Conway.
He's still struggling. You see on top of your picture there.
You end up getting told off for not going down in the end from the manager as they score the goal down your side.
Farino goes back to Jack Bonham. Bonham arrived from Stoke City in January, so he played the end of the promotion campaign. Here's Famewo. He was promoted with Hull City last season. He was playing left-back in pre-season, but they've switched it around with the former Preston man Ben Davies just on the bench. And Everson goes long and straight, and Farino's header wasn't the best. He put it straight at Osmaic. And Devine is beaten there by a strong challenge by Chris Farino. I think we saw again there another aspect of the Championship that people like. People like the physicality of the league, the fact that the foul level is just set a tiny bit higher than you'll see in the Premier League and you might have seen in the World Cup. a mistake by Gaizka Larrazabal, making his English football debut. He's a Basque who they got on a free transfer. He's in Portuguese football last season, and in the Carabao Cup last week. The ball is spun forward over the top, and Bonham comes.
Yeah, Preston North End are not too shy to play the ball forward early to try and turn this Bolton Wanderers back line early on, just to try and get themselves up the field of play rather than trying to keep the ball and play that ball forward.
There's Conway, seems to be okay, and he plays it over the top, and Dolby trying to play on that line again. Took his time there. Everson got the hurry up in the end. The header won by Lucas Stevenson. Then it just drops into midfield, and McCann then to Delano Bergzorg. Look across for the flag, and indeed it does greet Osmajic reaching the ball. Preston will be keen to get the most out of Osmajic. I mean, 40 games out of him would be a bonus as well, but he carries plenty of potential, doesn't he? And
he does. I mean, a player that's just relentless in hassling defenders and proving that physicality. But as you mentioned, I think he's started more than 20 games for Preston North End in the season, so they're going to need to try and get more out of him in terms of those game starts, because they are a better side when he is in it.
Nicely done by McAtee, but McCann got back, and then Larrazabal was quickly in with the challenge. He was a little unlucky. Jordan Thompson decides that tidying it up and going back to Everson is the best thing to do. And Paul Valentin, he goes long to Lang. Nicely done by Sheehan, who was then chopped down. The first yellow card of the game goes to Preston's new captain, Ali McCann.
I was just going to be wondering if that was going to be given as a yellow card or just a little talking to. Just trying to stretch for the ball there, McCann, and certainly understandably a yellow card.
Colby chasing it down. Valentin goes for safety first, knocks it out of play. Now the new restriction on throw-in time doesn't apply if you're doing a long throw routine. You've got more time to get people ready without the throw-in being turned over. They've gone short in the end. And again, with these goal kicks, this is where you can see if the referee decides that Everson, well, now he's on the 5 second to hear him, he gave him a sharp 2 to the whistle to say hurry up, and then you're on the clock. It's over the top again from McAtee to chase, and he takes on the shot. Dolby with a chance, and Bolton Wanderers take the lead. Well, he followed it up. McAtee trying his luck. His luck was in. The save wasn't the best from Everson. And Dolby was alert. And one of their heroes from the playoff final has scored their first goal back in the Championship.
Well, he's had a couple of moments in the game, Daniel Everson, early on. A link-up play from McAtee, from Dolby. It's an awkward one that bounces in front of him. That is awkward for goalkeepers. Sam Dolby there. It looks an easy finish, but trust me, you have to concentrate, you have to make sure you get the right connection, and you have to make sure you get the right control. And he does that perfectly. Brilliant start from Bolton Wanderers. However, the parry's really poor, because I don't think there's really a lot of power in the shot a deserved lead.
Well, he was a key man for them last season. Sam Dolby got 14 goals. That was his first season. They got him in from Wrexham, including that wonderful goal that he scored in the playoff final as well, and that will settle a few nerves around here.
Yeah, well taken finish and a good first 15 minutes from the home sides. I think they've matched the intensity of Preston North End. They've created slightly better chances, and interesting now the reaction from these Bolton Wanderers players. Do they drop off now, and will this be the goal conceded from Preston North End for them to keep the ball a little bit more? Because the way they're playing early on, they've gone direct, but the problem is when you go direct and you miss out your midfield, then the likes of Devine don't get a touch of the ball, and he's been very, very missed in the game so far.
Yeah, guy that they've made their record signing. There's Larazabal, and Bolton have gone over the top on occasions as well, haven't they? Using the pace of Gale and the physicality of sort of two up front, isn't it? McAtee off the top, but this is nicely done. And it's squared across. They're almost in each other's way here. Still an opportunity, though, for Lang. And it went horribly wrong for Preston North End. Not too many players forward.
So talking about squandering a golden opportunity there.
Lindsay passes it on. You can see Stuart McCall screaming, throw it to him. Taken up. I think we can say in the nick of time. Now Conway being pursued by McCann. And McAtee, again, just operating in that hole behind Dolby, goes wide to Gale. Erahan into Sheehan, urged to shoot by some of the supporters. And that one was away off the target.
I think he'd be delighted with his side start so far. Now, you mentioned that bit of space for McAtee just behind Dolby, because what they've done, well, they've gone direct early, which makes Preston North End defence drop a little bit, and that's where the space becomes available for McAtee. They used Gale early on down the left-hand side, which was a good outball for them. So they've mixed that gameplay up within the final third early on. That's certainly asked more questions of Preston North End's defence and vice versa, but a minute ago they did waste a big opportunity.
Flag goes up against Delano Bergzorg. Bergzorg was on loan at Bristol City for the second half of last campaign. He didn't really tear up any trees when he was there. Scored in his last game for them, and he's got another championship loan away from Borough. Preston have got an option to buy him. McAtee has had a really good start to the game, hasn't he? Here's Larazabal, one of the new signings. He wins a corner now for Bolton. There's Max Conway across from left back to take this. Got a short option there in Sheehan. Is it a shift and change the angle? Now 2-on-1 against the defender. It wasn't played as accurately as they would have wanted, but Sheehan gets another go here, and he whips it into the near post. Look for Dolby. He goes up in the air, and it has to be headed away by the defender, and then Hyatt hammered in again, and it's Sheehan, and it goes behind, potentially off his own teammate, but good pressure there from the set piece for Bolton.
Yeah, I was wondering how Bolton will react, because sometimes you score that goal and it does settle the nerves, and you do see teams just drop off a little bit, and then that's where the side that's conceded then comes into the game a little bit more. But I have to say that Ian Schumacher's side have carried on that front foot and trying to sense that second goal.
Here's Bergzorg, can Preston hit back? He's one-on-one with the defender, Marino here. Now he's got some support, and now Andrew Hughes comes from his left-back position. But Bergzorg again. Now Jordan Thompson. Jordan Story. There's a gap if he wants to drive into it. Preston have started recent seasons well. They're fourth in January. Last time.
I think it was high as fourth.
Went around, and then they fizzled out.
And then that second half of the season was pretty much a disaster.
And Valentin's got the bounce to the ball there. It comes out to Devine. Valentin, and again to Alfie Devine, the former Spurs man. And Bergzorg tries the back heel. Too many players in the way. Cleared by Max Conway. His 50th appearance for Bolton, by the way. Ali McCann replacing Ben Whiteman as the captain of Preston North End. They weren't happy that Whiteman was so determined to go to Wrexham. They lost him, an experienced player. And Jordan Thompson. And Paul Valentin again. Catalan fullback. Second season here. Let's play a little 1-2 with Callum Lang. Thierry Gale for Bolton Wanderers, who are able to counter-attack now. Comes through to Laurent Zabal, and I think he was trying to touch it onto Dolby. And it's Osmajic working that width of the pitch again, and that's neatly done. Into the penalty area he goes. The second line of defence was there in the form of Lucas Stevenson.
Yeah, just tempted 4-0 into the lunge and just dinked it over him very nicely. He will know his side will have to concentrate when you step up in levels, when you step up into the Championship. As poor as Preston North End have been in the first 23, 24 minutes of this game so far, they know that things can switch very quickly.
Andrew Hughes, give him time to set up the long throw, get his big defensive colleagues forward. Clearance comes to the edge of the penalty area and decided against the long-range effort. Thompson puts it in, a little bit of pinball around the box. It should be cleared, in fact, more than cleared. Eraham with a super ball to get his team up the pitch. And now Thierry Gale one-on-one with Paul Valentin for now, and he goes for goal. That's fine. finds it. What a strike! Bolton Wanderers 2 to the good. What a remarkable start to their return to the Championship. It couldn't have better in this opening quarter of the game.
Well, I mentioned about Bolton Wanderers trying to find that second goal when they're on top. Preston North End, from being in control of the ball at one end, he's been a big out ball for them, Gelb. He's gone on the outside on a number of occasions to get a cross in, and this time he's allowed to cut inside on that right foot. Executes the finish perfectly. What a 25 minutes back in the Championship, the Bolton Wanderers.
Well, the pre-season talk of Steven Schumacher's side, even from within the camp, was all about, let's be realistic, let's make sure that we stay up after a number of near misses trying to get back to this level. Seen pre-season predictions, fans compilations, expert predictions, and they all have Bolton in and around a relegation battle. They didn't want to be too giddy with their pre-season predictions, but here we are, 25 minutes played, 2-0 up in this. The referee says no, it was within the acceptable level from Akin from Maywo. Local derby, Bergzorg's run from deep here, so he's onside. And he goes down. And Lucas Stevenson, in his Championship debut, drives it forward. Sellout crowd today. It's not Bolton's record crowd. Back in the day at London Park, they had 59,000 for a game. It's a big old club. And they've got another free kick here, and the referee goes for his notebook again. Just rocking at the moment. Preston North End, yellow card for Jordan Thompson.
Yeah, they're everywhere at the moment. It must be an interesting start when you've had that back end of the season when your form's been poor. Just a little kick out there, right in front of the referee. It's just more frustration more than anything from him.
Two yellow cards. More importantly, 2 goals against Preston North End. Another Sheehan set piece floated around the back, and really well defended, actually chested down for Everson to collect. They don't need all the new signings that are sitting on the bench, Bolton, the way that they played in the first half hour. Hughes goes long, tries to bend it around, but again, Bonham comes underneath it, really.
Yeah, it's one of those ones you just look over the shoulder. Yeah, very soft foul to give away. Divine with the free kick. Big, she mentioned money transfer from Tottenham, but they just haven't been able to get him into the game so far.
So Alfie Devine over this free kick, £7 million summer signing, floated it to the back post. Arahan comes and Will clear it away again. Once again, it's Thierry Gale who's the outlet, and this was costly for Preston, letting him have a run before.
Well, the concern for Paul Heckingbottom, when he sees his team out of possession, they're just not in control at all. And they're scrambling and they're stretching. They're being outnumbered, they're being outrun. They're being fought in every single area and losing, which is a slight concern. We said right at the start of this game, early games in the Championship, this is the opportunity for newly promoted sides to maybe get some unexpected points on the board early on. And it just gives you that little bit of respite to find your way into the league if you do go through a couple of bad results. But Team Schumacher can be absolutely delighted, but he has to be switched on now for the final 15 minutes. You can see the goal now. Completely changes the context of the game.
Offside again. Caught offside too many times, Preston. Plenty for Preston North End manager to contemplate. I mean, he's a calm head. He won't be panicking.
Well, they're not really creating much, and I think that'll be an area of concern for him. They had that one small opportunity on the counter where they had numbers but made the wrong decision.
Lucas Stevenson, they signed from Liverpool. He'd been playing a couple of loan spells with Dundee United. And Conway, he wanted Gale to chase it, but he didn't fancy his chances this time.
It's been interesting to see for game to bed.
Giving it away, and Dolby gets it back again. Arahan.
Bolton wonder as if 15 minutes to go, can they go and find this next goal and really put the game?
Now Gale swings it in close to the goal. Nervy moments there in that Preston North End defence again.
He's been excellent. He's been an outball all the time, and I mean that is a concern when you have that amount of time to look up, no pressure on you to throw a cross into the box.
Because with no World Cup style timeouts, stroke hydration breaks, the players have got to sort out the first half problems themselves until they get a chance for a bit of input from the coaching team in about a quarter of an hour. There's Famewo. And Razabal entertained the home supporters, but it was out to play. Andrew Hughes told to go back by the referee. And then he was about to start the countdown. And you are saying Preston look rushed. A lot of the things they're doing. Famewo.
Distribution's been so poor. It's twice now he's kicked it straight out of play. And a difficult moment early on with the catch and just about got away with it. probably put him at fault for Dolby's goal.
The hero last weekend, though, Daniel Everson. It's the fortunes of a goalkeeper. No free kick this time for Bolton Wanderers. Hughes' clearance has gone up in the air. Didn't go as far as the players were expecting. As Erahanu's done pretty well, hasn't he, given that he hasn't figured in pre-season. We'll see how he does over the course of the 90. And here's she in his first action in the Championship at the age of 31. That's beautifully left by Thierry Gale, and Conway's on the overlap now for Bolton Wanderers. He goes on the outside. Swinged it against, just clipping it in there. Comes back out for Gale. Now it's floated in, and McAtee was there, and it's another one. But the referee will pull us back here. It was finished off at close range by Sam Dolby. The referee had already made his call.
I think it's got the pick of an offside, or just a little push in the back from McAtee. But again, just the time that Bolton Wanderers have got to cross that ball into the box.
Free kick for Preston, 10 minutes to go in this first half. Bolton were threatening to run out of steam at the end of last season with the regular campaign. And they managed to gather themselves, hadn't won any of the last three, 2 wins in 10, but they gathered themselves and then went through the playoffs with a couple of wins against Bradford, and then spectacularly in the end against Stockport in the final. Well, Preston found themselves in familiar territory, a 14th place finish. Of course, the top 8 will make the playoffs in the Championship, or the 3rd to 8th place teams will make the playoffs this season. Now, he's onside here, Bergzal. An opportunity and a terrific recovery challenge made by Chris Farino, who is rightly delighted with his challenge.
That's what we defenders do. We celebrate challenges like this, like we just scored a goal. Just delays it for that split second, doesn't he, that allows him to really stretch. As Mike is saying, he should have squared it to me, but he should have taken the shots on a lot earlier. Big challenge.
A corner for Preston North End. Whole mood will change if they grab something back before half-time. Played to the edge of the penalty area. Hughes comes steaming in and marked. He was clever, but have they let themselves open now to the counter-attack? Gale shrugs off one challenge as he left that just a bit short for McAtee. An opportunities at both ends of the pitch. Yeah, in seconds.
He couldn't make the challenge there. He'd already been on a yellow card. So he did well just to put a little bit of pressure on Gale.
And now they go through the middle, and it was close to releasing Osmajic again. Sheehan, Welsh international, floats it out towards Gale. A little bit of flair as well from Thierry Gale. And he goes into the shooting area again. He moves it on to McAtee, who goes for a side foot finish and clears the crossbar.
Well, Thierry Gale's playing like Thierry Henry at the moment, because he is just having the time of his life. Confidence to bring the ball like he did down there. Just see the push, if you see McAtee there, just that little push there. Maybe an offside alongside as well, but definitely a foul on Hughes. Gets the ball there. It's just that little push that you will get. Again, I'm just looking at the timing that Sheehan has to get that ball into the box. Pretty sure Paul Heckingbottom will have a few words to be saying to his players at half-time because they've not shown up in this big game for them.
I would bet money on Stephen Schumacher saying that's not a foul. McCann hooks it forward, hooks it out of play. His mind will be whirring through many possible alternatives how to get out of this situation here. Paul Heckingbottom, whether his players can do it for him in the next few minutes. Aim off the referee. So it will be Preston's possession.
The back end of the season will certainly be remained in the fans, and that expectation and pressure that will be on him, and the start will be vitally important. And at the moment, they have not even started this game just yet, but they certainly know a goal before half-time could change everything so far.
This will go through to Jack Bonham. And a groan as a careless touch from Sam Dolby gives possession away, but the atmosphere has been very positive. Obviously near half-time, so everyone's disappearing off to the concession stalls and loo breaks and everything else. All they miss in the next few minutes. Here's Hughes with the established Championship side, Preston North End, after they lost that game in 2001. Of course, they've never been up in the Premier League era since the 60s. Of Preston played in the top division. Bolton had all those glory days with those exciting players, and then they've had days that were too hair-raising as well. Bolton over the years in genuine trouble. 7 years ago, 6 years ago, etc., until the takeover was complete, and they've been on their way back. McAtee dropped deep, and the man of the moment, Gale, who's clipped by Paul Valentine's going to be another Preston man on a yellow card.
Again, just a yard off. Valentine has had a difficult first half up against him, and as a Bolton Wanderers perspective, the one player you probably want on the yellow card is him, because Terry Gale has been excellent in this first half with his movement, willingness to go on the inside, go on the outside, well-taken goal as well. And now being on a yellow card, he has to be very, very careful.
Lucas Stevenson, I just wonder if he's taken a blow to the head here, Stevenson. Yes, the referee just delays it, asks the player if he's okay.
Yeah, certainly nothing intentional there, just jumps well and just catches him slightly.
And superbly done by Erahon. And Stevenson has it, he can lift it over the top. Get out of play, actually. No chance for Larazaba. Alan Lang tries to win a wrestling match with Famoa. The referee is happy that there was no foul. Ball was still in play. The referee didn't think there was a foul in there. Dorby did well for Bolton. It's threaded forward through players again to the big centre forward. And Gale with the outside of his boot gets Dolby away. Lindsay comes across. Is there time for an attack here? The North End at the end of the game. There's a man down for Preston. Alan Lang will go on, and he will try and release that ball through to Osmaich.
They've done well, Bolton Wanderers, when they feel like you're going to be caught. And that final through ball's been intercepted really well.
There's 1 minute to the completion. To mop it up, though, for Preston North End. Has that just gone out of play? It hasn't. It's a very satisfactory first half for Bolton. So 20 seconds to go. We'll end with this Bolton attack. Did not have the intensity of much that they've done in this first half. The really impressive first half that has been from Stephen Schumacher's men. Well, they played down expectations before the game, but that could hardly have gone better. Thierry Gale was absolutely superb in that first half. He got the second on a quick break after Sam Dolby had picked up his opportunity after a mistake, really, by Daniel Everson in the Preston North End goal. Plenty for Preston to think about and plenty for Bolton to enjoy in that first half. Half-time, Bolton Wanderers 2, Preston North End 0.
Market, proud partner of the EFL.
Good game, eh?
Get ready for a festival of animated movies.
I love you guys.
The Sky Cinema Animation Collection, available now.
Let's stick to the chicken, shall we? Yeah. Okay, good. Chicken McNuggets from... Oh, he's off again. Come on, back to the chicken. Thank you. Chicken McNuggets. Oh. Chicken McNuggets. Stop. Look, just leave it there. Chicken McNuggets from McDonald's. Oh. And some new Korean barbecue sauce. Nuggets from McDonald's. Ah, I see what you've done.
Hey, you! Leave my dad alone. Get your kicks out of hunting older guys, do ya? And picking on black men twice as much. Better sleep with one eye open. Because now, we're all here.
Prostate cancer is the most common cancer in men. It's about time we stood together against it. Prostate Cancer UK.
Who do I trust for business insurance?
If you need business insurance, join nearly 1 million customers who trust...
Oh, this is a biggie for your big shop. Aldi are which best value brand of the year? So you get great quality at Aldi prices.
Rover, here. Come here.
Oh.
I'll be right back. Good, Rover. Come on, sit. Okay, let's go home. Rover, stop. Rover, what are you doing? Rover, will you stop that? Rover, are you crazy? Oh, you stupid dog.
Sorry, where were we?
You crazy dog.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Vitality rewards you for getting active, with up to 2 months cashback on your premiums. Woohoo! Vitality, your health's best friend.
In Japan, we believe that the best way to continuously improve is to reimagine what is already here. All new Mazda CX-5. Search Mazda.
Compass Market, proud partner of the EFL.
Welcome back. The first early Saturday kick-off of the championship season at Bolton's Tough Sheet Community Stadium. And the home side, as you see from these stats, pretty much everything has gone their way. I think all of these stats will be Bolton's way. They've had more of the ball than Preston, and they have been more of a threat. I suppose the one thing you'll see when it goes round, you'll see that Preston have had a clear-cut chance and Bolton haven't. And then it's a matter of opinion. So basically, Adam Burgo, I mean, you know, we watched the first 45 minutes. We don't need the stats to tell us Bolton a good value for this.
Yeah, I mean, in every avenue in terms of with and without the ball, intensity, quality, everything about that first half performance you would want from a newly promoted side, being at home. I just think Preston North End have just been way off the pace and don't deserve anything from that first half performance, as we'll see.
So Bolton were back after 7 years away from this level of the game. Daniel Everson had been the hero of Preston's Carabao Cup win. He got away with that one.
Well, he did there. I mean, it was a routine take there that he managed just about to get away with.
And so this was Preston's goal kick, as you can see, and it's quickly turned round. It was Larazabal with the first header, nicely over the top by Dolby, then keeps running, and then he follows up. It was McAtee's shot, and Adam, you're the expert. You can tell us about the goalkeeper.
Well, I wasn't a goalkeeper, but if I was a defender looking at my goalkeeper, I'd be certainly saying it's always difficult. It just bounces in front of him, but you need to parry that away from goal a lot more. Dolby reacted, Lindsay didn't, and that was still a good finish there from him.
But it was a clear-cut chance. So they mixed up the set pieces, and this one was whipped into that near post, wasn't it? Plenty of pressure there from Bolton.
Yeah, I mean, the concern I noticeably saw in that first half from Preston North.
And then it's the defender from in front of the line, and Sheehan with the shot.
They didn't do anywhere near enough to stop crosses coming into the box.
But this has been a long throw, hasn't it, into the box, and then they catch them on the break. Lovely ball by Aaron just to open it up, and then McAtee's pass. And the problem here, Valentin one-on-one with Thierry Gale, and he can't handle it.
Well, he can't, and I think he's been certainly Bolton Wanderers' bright spark in that first half. I think he's been excellent in being positive to try and get crosses in time and finished it really, really well. And at that stage, when they're 1-up, I said, can they go and find the second goal? And they certainly did that.
So this one is disallowed. Little touch at the back post. Look at number 45, John McAtee, as the ball comes in against Andrew Hughes. And a little touch there before he heads it across.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small touch that many may feel it would be very, very soft into the box. And where he's gone outside so many times, as a defender, you then ask the question, will you go inside? And he went inside that, but you switch off as a defender when you just feel that nudge in your back because you're trying to gain that advantage, and he does do that.
So this was the clear-cut chance that Preston have. Delano Bergsorg making his debut. They get the offside right this time, and he's onside there, Bergsorg. And it's the recovery challenge from Chris Farino.
It makes a really, really good challenge after a heavy first touch. An important block that would have changed the concept of the game if Preston North End would have got that goal.
So this is where we stand, the only game going on at this time in the Sky Bet Championship, and then the rest of today's game at 3 p.m. And for you watching this in the UK, there's no blackouts this weekend, so you can see those games. And then Sheffield United kick off against Birmingham City in the 5:30 game. This is the second match of the season. We had one last night where Wolves got a late penalty to equalise against Blackburn Rovers. We're back with the whole of the second half of this North West derby next. Bolton lead Preston by 2-0.
Compass Market, proud partner of the EFL.
I will see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
3-0. 3-1.
The biggest sport game in the country.
We back the things we believe in. Sage, supporting the businesses behind the badge.
Give love to your dog every day. An Advantage Chewable every month.
Milo!
One tasty Advantage Chewable tablet eliminates fleas and ticks for a whole month. Advantage Chewable. Easy to love, easy to protect.
Advantage Chewable.
I think I missed a spot.
Where?
Somewhere, I don't know. The gums?
No stress. Listerine delivers 5 times more cleaning power. It even works below the gum line.
I just don't bend that way.
Get 5 times more cleaning power with Listerine.
Oh, new Listerine options.
Now in a range from extra mild to intense.
Listerine. Wash your mouth.
Anyone else think this ratio's a bit off here? Yeah, that's not exactly what I meant.
Some say John Jameson didn't just create an incredibly smooth whiskey, but the world's largest family. Now, they don't share DNA, but they do share the same warm spirit. A welcoming bunch who don't take themselves too seriously. And while they've never been to Ireland, they share our smooth Irish ways. Must be part of the family. Must be a Jameson.
The making of a new England begins here.
You build those memories of either winning,
fairy tale stuff,
or the pain of losing.
An old challenger returns to serve as the ultimate test. England versus Pakistan, live on Sky Sports.
Compass Market, proud partner of the EFL.
Game's gone.
There's a party atmosphere at the sold-out Tough Sheet Stadium. It's an exciting time of year. New arrivals such as Samuel Illing Jr., who's come in to Bolton on a season-long loan from Aston Villa. I have to say from Aston Villa, it'd be understandable if he forgot that he plays for Aston Villa. It's his 5th different loan club. Hasn't played for Villa. Does have championship experience, though, with Borough and with West Ham. Interesting time of the season, isn't it? Because the deadline's September the 1st, and so clubs leave their business. So you start the season, and you don't know how strong the squads are yet.
Exactly, going in and going out, where players that you may be trying to keep, and they end up starting the season well, and those big sides decide then to go and make that approach and take them off you. So it can be very, very unsettling. But for Bolton Wanderers, I have to say, they will be very, very settled with their first half performance, because I thought they were excellent. I really felt that the first 15 minutes was about the tempo of the game, and I mentioned about Preston North End not necessarily playing with the ball and playing well and with and without the ball. The concern for me was that their energy levels and closing the ball down, winning those individual battles, they were miles off. And that was a concern for me, and they didn't match Bolton Wanderers' intensity. And that's what I'm pretty sure that Paul Heckingbottom would have said to his side. Forget how you play, you've got to match that intensity. Newly promoted side, playing at home, big expectation, and they've not done that. And that will be a concern for me going into half-time.
How much would you be concerned about Preston's formation? The fact that he went with the back four, with Hughes as a left-back, Valentin as a right-back. Would you expect him to have a think about that?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think that he would be certainly looking to maybe change it in that second half, because it's been, remember when he first came into the club, he wanted to go with the back three, but he didn't have the personnel to do that. It all changed for him, and players came, and he managed to do that. And it's very difficult when you kind of get drilled a formation, then you have to go back to another one. And the problem with the back four is 3 of them are not necessarily very fast, and your right back is the only player that's an outball with pace. So that's an issue that you look at. That you look at Hughes as an experienced player, but he doesn't offer the width, and that's where you lose that when you have not really much versatility in your fullbacks getting forward to offer something offensively against Bolton. So how long he will leave it for, time will tell, but I would expect changes to be happening sooner rather than later, when there's going to be formation or personnel.
A hugely experienced Preston back line, we'll definitely say that for them. Hughes and Story both joined the club in 2018. In Lindsay in 2021 in the winter then. It's unheard of almost these days, isn't it? The players spend so long there. There's Sam Dolby, who started the season so well, and as a striker, of course, there's always pressure to score goals, isn't there? Obviously, it's the main thing that you're paid for. So bagging one, what was he, 15 minutes in, will make him feel an awful lot better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, seen him come through the ranks of Southend United in the National League, so it's really pleasing to see him go on and have a good career in the Football League. And strikers will if you've got someone that can just find a goal here and there, and you find those goals early, the confidence will be booming. It'll be important for him, because he'll know go through periods of the season where Bolton were going to go through those difficult patches. But they'll know the second half, they'll have to start with the same intensity. If they drop off and allow Preston North End back into the game early on, then it'll be a different feeling because of how much they put into that first half performance.
For me, one of the players who was playing in, I think you'd say was not an unfamiliar position. He's played centre-back before, but he played pre-season as the left-back, so there was a little bit of a surprise there. So Paul Heckingbottom has said his words. He's made his changes. If there are any tactical ones out there are no personnel changes. It is a sellout. Look at the stadium. Where is everybody? Queues at the concessions, I guess, as we get underway promptly at the start of the second half. And if you're confused, Preston are in red. These two teams have so much history. They go back, they predate the Football League, these two teams. They were FA Cup rivals before the organisation of a league. The northwest of England was a hotbed of the Football League in those early days, and for a long time after that as well. Preston, the first ever champions. FA winners over the years, though. Famously, the man whose name you'll see on that stand opposite, Matt Lofthouse, a FA Cup winning hero. Erhan, who came into the team having not played in pre-season, and his part in the goals. Now Thierry Gale is one-on-one with Valentin. They tried to get to him. Players on a yellow card for Preston North End. Going to expose one-on-one with Gale in this form. Lucas Stevenson there with the ball outside to Arasabal. Fired forward by Sheehan. Lucas Stevenson, 20 now, and in from. Comes a time with young players that you'd say Alfie Devine the same as well, where you hit an age where you don't want to be at a big club being loaned out forever. You want to play for somebody.
Yeah, most definitely. And so the game's changed a lot. After a lot more, and you kind of get into those early 20s, but I always feel if you get into that 21, 22 set and you're not playing too often, then you certainly feel that you have to go out there and make a career for yourself and go and play regular football rather than just staying in the comfort zone of a Premier League side. And it comes up when you're maybe 18 years old, when I was coming through the ranks, where that was the kind of age that you were either going to make it or not going to make it, but players are looked home as well.
Girl goes with that pass, not for the first time with the outside.
Time when loan moves become frustrating and you can never really be settled, and that sometimes can come into your form.
Side of the right boots, instead of running it, leaves a gap behind for Alfie Devine to try and make his impact, and he's clipped there. It'll be a yellow card, this one. Easiest call of the day, I think, for Adam Herchek, the referee, to book the Bolton Wanderers skipper.
The easiest yellow card that had been given all afternoon. That's the first time really we've seen Devine get on the ball. And
well, we also saw last season Preston North End didn't score with a direct free kick all season. Bonham will not want to be the first person to
drive forward, but as we saw last season, he's not shy of a yellow card.
Concede in those circumstances. He has a four-man wall. In place. So, how are they going to work this then, Preston North End? An opportunity early in this. There's no real shooting angle left with a record signing. He floats second half to do something here. Ryan comes in by the time they've worked it. Set out towards the back stick, and it was Stevenson who got there first, and it's cleared, and McAtee is a threat, and the goalkeeper's gone back, and McAtee might go for it early again, and it wasn't far wide of that far post.
Similar-ish that led to that first goal with the strike like that, a little bit of a wider angle. He's certainly got the quality to do that. I mean, Dolby was making the run into the box. I think it'd have been a lot harder for him to bring the ball down, look up, square the ball across, so why not have a shot towards goal? And he's looked lively, as you mentioned, without Rodriguez in the side today. Big expectation, big opportunity for him as well.
And flick on for Osmaich. It's a little nudge to force him away from goal. Now it's delivered towards the back stick, and it's Devine who strikes it. It was nearer the corner flag than the goal.
Well, the pleasing aspect for Preston North End perspective is that the last 5 minutes he's had more touches of the ball than he did in all the first half, Alfie Devine. I think he'd be disappointed with that chance there because he had a long time to think about that, saw the ball all half. I'm pretty sure words would have been said. It's from away, just didn't get the connection he would have wanted. A slightly better start from his side at the start of this second.
From the northwest, from Warrington. That was a rugby league player, Sean. Now, even though he made the early parts of his football career with Spurs, here he is. Now a permanent signing, as it were, as permanent as a footballer ever gets, but Preston's record signing at $7 million. And the referee took his time and then flagged Alan Lang. Lang came in the very end of the winter window from Portsmouth. Yet to score for Preston. $4,400 made the short journey from Preston, 20 minutes on the train, 20 odd minutes on the train, 20 miles away. They played their Carabao Cup fixture at Goodison Park last week, Preston, because as well as investing a bit of money in players, they have relayed the pitch. The first sight of green grass that many people in England and Wales will have seen in recent times. And here's Max Conway, who came through the ranks to Thierry Gale. It's a little slip, ill-timed slip really by McAtee, but it's well won back by Arahan. Razabal did well, he sort of left it behind him momentarily. Lucas Stevenson. Sheehan. And then Arahan again. Razabal have made the first run. McAtee then makes the second, and he gets on the end of it. And was he trying to squeeze that across for Dolby, or was it a shot?
So he was always going to be working against him for the shot, so I think he was just trying. Well, it was an easy ball through, and he just makes that late run again. Trying to find that quick touch and that quick cross into Dolby, but give it away again cheaply.
And here's Gale again, and they stand off Stevenson. To Sheehan. And then Arahan again. Razabal have made the first run. McAtee then makes the second, and he gets on the end of it. And was he trying to squeeze that across for Dolby, or was it a shot?
Well, it was an easy ball through, and he just makes that late run again. So he was always going to be working against him for the shot, so I think he was just trying to find that quick touch and that quick cross into Dolby, but give it away again cheaply.
And here's Gale again, and they stand off him. And that time, it wasn't the worst thing. He almost got it to the top of the stand.
Yeah, you can't blame the pitch in the middle of August. Maybe December time you could look at the pitch for the bobble, but again, just being caught playing out from the back, and he'll probably look at that as a small chance because he'll know that Preston North End find another goal next, then the game becomes very different.
The telling stat there is the 0, isn't it, against shots on target. It means that Jack Bonham has not had a save to make in 54 minutes of football. Here's Gale. Away he went on the overlap, he came back again to the skipper, and Sheehan clips it into the penalty area. Razabal tries to just get a touch on that one. The referee does play on because there was holding going both ways. Arahan was trying to thread it through to Conway, I think, who was hovering outside of the area, and it's turned over by McAtee again. Well, he had a look at the assistant referee straight away, and I think it was the main man who made the call.
That's unlucky.
Now Devine, he popped up in space and he's able to release Bergzorg. Brilliant recovery, sliding challenge by Lucas Stevenson. McCann tries to get away from Arahan and he is unable to do so. Dolby. And he finds the run of Gale. He can now, he's dropped back into space. And here comes Larrazabal in space. Will he go for it from there? He will, and he's a bit more firmly than Gale. He did find the back of the stand. Stevenson is down. He was the one who made that challenge, wasn't he, a moment ago? Let's have a look. He goes sliding in, and then Bergzorg, I think, lands on him.
It's the fall afterwards, isn't it?
So he does need treatment, a minute off the pitch or not. And there's no foul by Bergzorg there, so he will have to go off unless he's replaced. Let's have a look back to the 15th minute of the game, and the McAtee shot, the Everson parry, and the Dolby finish. Broke on them, and Gale does brilliantly.
Yeah, two very different goals, but two.
And then this was a quick counter. Had been a long throw at the other end, and they.
Two well-taken goals from Albie and Gale that has given his side a well-deserved lead, and you're knowing that starting this second half that Preston North End would have come out with a bit more about them, and they did for the first 5 minutes, but the last 10 minutes, again, they've just been sloppy in possession, and they've been decent to allow the mistakes to happen and then go and press them quickly. And he'll know the next goal in this game will be crucial.
Yeah, so I think Mr. Herjeg just making clear that Stevenson's got to go off for a minute, having had treatment. We're in the sort of substitution zone, as it were, for managers. He's okay, though. He seems to be walking off firmly enough. From the northeast of England, Lucas Stevenson, who came through Liverpool. Preston with their temporary advantage can attack. Valentin held up by Gale. Thompson. Hughes, they work it to Bergzorg. I think a few Preston fans appealing for Larrazabal at the temporary right-back position. Foul there as Bergzorg went down. They get the ball into the penalty area. Lang will jump and head it towards the goal, and it might just get rid of that 0 off the stats, if nothing else. Stevenson is back. Bolton back at 11. Divine. Back he goes to Thompson, one of their Northern Ireland internationals, over the top in a first test for Stevenson since coming back on, and he passes it. And then Larrazabal's a little bit lucky. Wasn't the best of touches, but he managed to play it against Hughes.
Just noticing with Preston North End that Devine's gone a little bit more central now, more in his natural position rather than that right-hand side, and Lang's come out to this side now.
It was very much right side, wasn't it, first half? Alfie Devine. With Valentin in pursuit. Gale towards the edge of the penalty area. Can he shoot again? He has curled it, and it wasn't a long way wide.
It's just such poor defending from
Gale with a nice touch out to Conway, and he goes into the space.
Preston North End, and he knows he's had a couple of chances now. I mean, the time and space he's got there to cut inside. And Valentin's getting no help to double up to stop him. He's having a terrible time in a one-on-one situation, and even though he's getting those chances, has to be executing it like he did for his opening goal.
Colby does well, finds Gale. And the busy McAtee gets it unlucky and tried the back heel to release his teammate. And Famowo is hoping that Bond takes over, and he did in time. A nudge in the back by Paul Valentin. Offside is a quick decision here. It's an 8-game burst at the start of the season until the now elongated first international break. So there's a couple of weekends off after that. Initial 8 games. The September international break rolling into October. It's really well played by McAtee. Had a good game, hasn't he? Now Razabal on his championship debut is trying to find Dolby through the middle. It was a vital touchdown, wasn't it? It was absolutely critical that Jordan Story got there.
That was a wonderful improvised pass there. Razabal down the right-hand side, and it's an experienced back line that's really struggling at the moment. Pacing behind the movement, time on the ball that Bolton have got to look up and pass.
Bolton's corner, looking for a third goal. Everson comes, gets a really solid right hook on that. It's good goalkeeping. Massive changes coming here from Paul Heckingbottom. Been enough for the time being. So, we are seeing the Frenchman signed yesterday coming on. And Arabi will come on, scored last weekend. Paul Valentin. And Adel Orfia coming on. So, could just be slotting straight in at right back. Orfia, because Leroy will give it a bit of French in the first. We might be overruled as time goes on, but the French midfielder, he came from Basel, the Swiss club, for $3.5 million. So that was after the press conference on Thursday. He's then signed on Friday. But he has played top division football. Sheehan could be a bit lucky there. I think Preston might be making that. I beg his pardon, it was Dolby. So anyway, it didn't matter, but the referee didn't see it as a booking anyway. So Arabi is a Swedish striker. On loan from Genk, and he came on against Huddersfield, and it was Bergzorg who had a shot, and Arabi goal. It was a good scoring start for the Swede. He's probably just touched it in from close range on its way towards the goal, but it was definitely his. Dad was an Afghanistan international. There's an offside there. Harry Clark, who also signed yesterday, is not in the match day squad today. Preston. Conway forward into the feet of Dolby, does that centre-forward job really well. He certainly has for 65 minutes. Now is this onside? He's poised with his flag there, the assistant referee. Given away and divide, and they go again. Osmajic. Bolton block. This is better from Preston since the changes. And Divine, he goes wide. Bergthal could come inside, but he'll put a bit of pressure, and he was offside when he came inside, Bergthal.
Well, it probably just says everything that you need to know about Paul Heckingbottom's substitutions to 3 that come on. So not a change in the formation. Valentine, as you mentioned, on that yellow card, so he had to be careful. Almost like a 4-4-2 now.
Now here's Gale with a different opponent in front of him. And he's got the pace there. Nadal off here, hasn't he, to match Gale stride for stride.
Well, he certainly embraced those one-on-one situations.
Josh Sheehan across for another corner for Bolton Wanderers. We're midway through the second half now. Sheehan's corner, and it's over the head of the goalkeeper this time. It was Mike, then away. It's an excellent ball back out again to Sheehan, who can play it into the middle. Again, it was met by a Preston defender, and then off here, and now Irabi is happy to smuggle it out of play. Marino. Fear clears his lines, but it's collected again by Sheehan, and he gets it nicely back into his path, and the shot is competently held on to by Everson. Bolton, that he did that.
Yeah, nice little touch there from Conway into Sheehan, who has a good strike towards goal. Important that Bolton Wanderers keep the pressure on despite the changes.
And they come again with Gale, the scorer of their second goal, star really of the first half. Quick dancing feet from the Barbados international. He's just put too much on that, I think he has, hasn't he, for John McAtee.
This was the Mike's chance. One will come off his line really quickly and just got a small touch on it as it went through, and Wanderers managed to clear their lines.
Thrown on 5 of the referee's count. Well, Bolton lost their last 7 games of their last season in the Championship. It started that season well, but it was the turmoil around the club and the lack of of wages being paid to the players, and the whole season just disintegrated into chaos, culminating in not actually playing their last scheduled game at their home stadium. Then they were relegated in a game against Villa. Offside here. Jack Grealish and Tammy Abraham were the scorers for Villa back in 2019. Jordan Story for Preston. They need a change of fortune. Bonham comes. Responsibility there, the Wanderers goalkeeper.
He's looking eager to come off his line. He's been the outstanding player today. With and without the ball. Wonderfully taken goal, but just being positive every time he's had that opportunity to take on Valentin, and now offering those one-on-one situations.
Here's Lucas Stevenson. Nathan Errahon is still going strong, isn't he? 71 minutes in. Now Conway. He threads it forward into the feet of McAtee. Sheehan goes wide. Larrazabal. Nice football this from Bolton Wanderers. And then the interchange between right back and right midfield player. Stevenson. And Sheehan carry the ball to the edge of the penalty area. Then he gets run out of it, ruining the olays of the home supporters. Stevenson tries to dig out a cross. Settles for a corner.
Important part of the game now for Bolton Wanderers to try and seize that third goal. You know, they've had moments, but haven't really created too many chances to test Daniel Everson in the goal. They've still controlled the majority of this second half when they've had the chances, but can they make this set play count now? Really put this game to bed.
Conway is across for the in-swinger. Bolton looking for a third, whipped into the near post. It bounces up and around. Appeals for a handball. Farino thinks he saw something. We do not have VAR, so we will carry on with the game. Could have taken 3 minutes over that. Here's Conway again. Close to Everson, who takes it clean. Want to get Preston quickly on the attack, and he goes high and long through the middle. Goes right the way through to his opposite number, Bonham.
He's done that 2 or 3 times now, you've seen where he's actually kicked the ball really well towards Osmajic, and he's almost got him in. Bolton have to be switched on with that one.
Bolton happy to go long as well, and there's no flag. Dolby's in behind, and he's denied by the save. That could have been it there for Bolton.
And then Lindsay's complaining about something. He feels there's a foul. I don't think there was a foul. I just think that it was just kind of cute strength there from him to push him off the ball. But what a chance that was there for Dolby to finish the game off.
Instead, Preston are still in it, and Devine has it, drifts in off that flank and rolls it. Changes now coming towards the run of Osmajic. Didn't reach him. Little pull on the shirt. There'll be a Bolton free kick. for the home side, and we are going to see the new man, in fact two of the new men, both Samuel Illing Jr. and Ryan Hardy. Well, quick word on John McAtee actually as well. We need as he goes off, and Gaizka Larrazabal. McAtee's really played his part in this Bolton success so far.
Yeah, I thought McAtee had an excellent afternoon work. His link-up play with Dolby, his runs that he was making from his centre-forward, which always help when the centre-forward drops deep and he makes those runs in behind, and contributed to the first goal. The shots that led to the Everson mistake. A good performance there from him.
Illing Jr. has gone over to the right side. We've seen him play left wing back and left wing as well. Obviously on this performance he's knocking Thierry Gale out of the side. Foul there by Youssef Arabi. And Fear sort of tidies up, and under pressure, Preston. They do manage to get it forward though. And Arabi feels he was being dragged to the ground. The referee was right there and so entirely differently. Now Preston trying to attack again though. The through ball was aimed at releasing the run of Divine, but brilliantly done by Max Conway. Good tracking back though by McCann. And then, oh wow, it's very skillfully done by the Frenchman. He floats it out towards Bergzorg. Up to rescue Preston last weekend. Can he do so here? Whipped into the penalty area and whipped far too close to Bonham.
Yeah, comfortable take in the end, and the correct changes from Schumacher to try and give his side a bit of leg, especially with this one on the ball now. Just being the out ball for them, they can drive the ball forward.
In forward, looking for the run of Hardy. Oh, he squared it too far in front of Arabi. Arabi's got the skill, though, to keep it alive and keep it going. And is he given a free kick away? No, it's just a corner. Well, Osmai, I think he caught Arabi out.
I have no idea. I don't know any centre-forward that does this. When you go through on goal.
Now, Osmaic is away here. And there's a great opportunity. And he's...
Well, they've just completely made a huge opportunity, gone wasting. They've done that twice now. He's never really been a potent goal scorer, has he? But when you get those chances and opportunities, you put that in the back of the net, you run and get the ball out the net, and then you make a game of it.
I've got to say, so many times you see a player criticised for taking a shot on, for not squaring it, but that's an example. It's hard to get the pass spot on if you're trying to roll it across. He didn't have an awful lot to aim for. Here's the corner. Whipped in towards the goalkeeper, and it ricochets around. Last touch of Jordan's Story. He's gone down a little bit of bother here, Jack Bonham.
It's important that Wanderers have got away with it. They don't concede a sloppy goal straight after.
So Hughes is off, and a regular left-back, Vukcevic. And Thierry Small, who was touch and go, replaces Bergzorg. Bergzorg would have been happy with his contribution last weekend, a bit less this time around at his championship debut for Preston. Hunt continues to do really well, and he finds Illing Jr., the substitute here of Bolton Wanderers, who dances into the penalty area, and his cross deflected across. And no one could get on the end of it. This is nicely worked again to Thierry Gale, who's closed down by Thierry Small. And now Sheehan. Illing Jr. Hunt. It's Ryan Hardy out wide. Hardy's on loan for the season from Wrexham. Swept up by Conway. He's forced his goalkeeper considerable distance back, but he'll just be able to kick this long. Bonham. Already wins the wrestling match. And then Lindsay. It's a no-nonsense championship challenge. And he's Andy McCann. Trick his way around the defender. He took it out of play himself, says the assistant referee. Preston have got 10 minutes plus a little bit of stoppage time. And Small tries to foul by Dolby. Change coming now from Bolton, and it's going Toll who's coming on. And Conway off. I guess Amewoa to left back. Small. Plenty up front now for Preston North End, including McCann, who was the target for that. Hunt as well. They're finding those little bits of space again. Dolby was deeper. Now that Hardy's come on. What as well, not for the first time, and it's clipped over the top, and also not for the first time. Jack Bonham comes and sweeps up.
He's done that well, Bonham. And the Preston North End, they're just going to try and phase that ball into the final third. You need your goalkeeper to be off his line and make those correct decisions. And he's done that on a number of occasions in this second half.
Man on the PA, sending the Preston fans off home with a cheery goodbye. They're not done yet. Supporters though. Bolton's early blast in this game, goals 54,500, will have been disappointed with most of what they've seen from there. Of 14, 15 and then 25. Set the tone for the game, and Preston have had a shake of the head from Harvey Devine on his re-debut, if you like, for Preston North End as their record signing. have had moments and wasted the moments that they've had. Not really consistent spell where you thought that they deserved to be level. Some smiling faces among the Preston fans, so they've obviously enjoyed themselves to some extent. 26,262. So they, I think it's a record attendance at this stadium. And we'll be hoping that the ones that are around, well, it's 16,000 season tickets, so aren't that many available day to day or match to match. I'll be hoping that those will be coming back for the next games. Lucas Stevenson has played his last of his debut, championship debut. A debut for Lewis Brunt, who was just in. Had a big send-off, thoroughly deserved, for Thierry Gale as well. And Killian Dong, another summer signing, comes on. That's Dong's first couple of touches there as a championship player. Dong is a 21-year-old Frenchman on loan from Augsburg. And Brunt, they've just got in another bit of business with Wrexham. Here come Preston North End. Vukcevic into the penalty area, and it's headed in off the bottom of the crossbar by Erabi. 2 in 2 for him. Scored in the cup, scored in the league, and we've got a game on here with 85 minutes played.
Well, they've squandered opportunity in this second half to find themselves a goal with a bit more time, but what they've done now, they've given themselves a real chance. That cross coming in, but he hangs it up perfectly. Smalls there. It's a wonderful flighted ball in, and Brunt just being on, whether he's not up to match pace to get to stop that. Arabi's there. It's a well-taken header. And now they've given themselves a small chance of something now, Preston North End.
Might have been on the pitch a matter of seconds, hadn't he, Lewis Brunson? Called into a defensive job against Vukcevic, another substitute. And it's P&E that you can hear. Yeah, from the 4,400 and something. Foul by Hardy. The wide just leaves it a little short perhaps for McCann, but he moves it on quickly. Now can Preston. Those travelling supporters, something to get excited about. Afia's gone on an overlapping run. He's stopped by, there's a wave of the flag. It's going to be a free kick against Farino, and a yellow card.
Yeah, I think he had all the good intentions to go and win the ball, but completely missed it and took Afia out. And now all of a sudden, he's been in control of the majority of the game, and a goal just changes everything. Now it's a steal now. Can they defend this cross coming into the box, or can Preston North End feel that the momentum is with them with their travelling fans just behind the goal?
The name of Youssef Arabi, you can hear from the visiting supporters. Pine with the free kick. Well delivered into the penalty area. It's Vukcevic set up the goal that has made this into a contest. And he comes to Ofir. Loa delivers it nicely into the penalty area, looking for Arabi again. It was half a chance for the equaliser. And it was Liam Lindsay who was in there, the big central defender.
Just gets goal side of Farino. Maybe just not enough pace on the cross for him to kind of generate that power that you would have needed. Is it too little too late from his side?
90th minute. Bonham is given the hurry up. Well won by Amewo. He was offside, so he couldn't react. Goalkeeper Iversen has to come now to play. That's where the new laws do come into their own, isn't it? Because a couple of years ago, they could have strung this throw-in out a long time. How long we're getting? 4 minutes. McCann has shinned that one. Hilling Jr. No, I did well. He's shown some good signs in his cameo appearance, the French midfielder. Vukcevic slipped as he tried to go around Hilling Jr. Did he carry that out of play? He did.
And he's certainly held the balance of Preston North End in a force since he's come on. Yes, with the assist, but also just an out ball getting forward and asking Wanderers' his backline a few more questions that their fullbacks have done in this game.
Again, Preston just can't keep the ball in play. Momentum's gone away from their comeback. Battling away to try and win his own header. On by Hilling Jr. And foul by Dolby. Into the 3rd minute of the 4 that's being added on, and Iversen waves everybody forward in red. Is this to be the last opportunity? Preston go long to the edge of the box and it's smashed away. And it has to go back to Iversen again, but there's still plenty of time. And again, gets some air under the ball, and again it's won by a Bolton player. This is old school, isn't it, at the end of the game?
They just haven't quite...
Goes again. And again, it's won by a Bolton defender. Holding on just a little bit at the end. They won't care about that. 50 seconds from
got the distance on that long kick forward from Everson. He's been met well by Bolton Wanderers defenders.
Winning this game. Thierry Small. Comes inside, a challenge, delivers it into the penalty area. It's flicked on and a cross and a miss. A glorious opportunity wasted right at the end of the game, and it was Lindsay forward again. And Preston really should have been level.
Well, it should be a goal. The flick on, the free header. Golden opportunity missed there from him. And that is probably game, set and match now.
And on that, the Preston supporters turn and make their way to the exit. They had it there in their hands. Their big centre-back was forward. But they deserved it. They worked hard for it. They were the better team for most of this game. Towards the end, they found themselves hanging on. But there was enough there. Youssef Arabi with an 86th. Bolton, who are back in the Championship, are now back with a win. Minute goal for Preston North End. But it wasn't enough because of some wonderful play by Thierry Gale in the first half. He'd made it to Sam Dolby and been the player that had given